Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all,
This
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Stephanie Jones is back from her world tour.
I know, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
So you went to Europe?
I did, yeah. I went back to England. My cousin got married. I was a bridesmaid. It was
Mazel.
amazing. And then saw my other half's family, because they're all scattered all over the place over there, you know. So it was a bit jumping country to country, but it was awesome. But imagine going from Colorado to Vegas or to Kansas. It's only an hour away on a plane. So I think because it's different countries, it seems really far, but it's actually really easy.
It's not too bad. And I saw you spent
bad.
some time in Rome. Did you go see the Colosseum?
I actually did. I was in Rome. Right. So
It
this is
almost
the
slipped our
power.
mind.
No,
Wow.
No. This is the power of Instagram. I was literally in Rome for 36 hours. So everyone's like, "Oh, you've been there for like a week." No, I was there 36 hours. I flew to see my fiance's brother and meet him for the first time because I've never got to meet him.
Wow.
And he was out of town. He's like, "I'm going to be there." So we ran on a flew on a plane to go meet him.
Do you
So
know how
that's
cool
awesome.
it is to text somebody like, "Meet me at the Roman Coliseum"?
Wow.
I'll just be like,
And
I'm
like-
at the Chipotle on 6th.
I'm on Wednesday. I'm at a Wendy's.
Yeah, that's I'm inside. I'm
6th.
next to the window. Yeah, I feel like Steph's gonna come here next time with just a T-shirt with all the cities she's been to,
Like a tour.
like the Rolling Stones. Yeah.
I feel like she's not going to come here.
Jeff was like, "Are you coming back?" I was like, "Absolutely. I love you guys. I'm glad to be home. You know what? I love Europe, but Denver is home now,
Well,
for sure."
said-
welcome
Nobody
back. We're going to talk a little bit about your home people.
Oh, yes.
All right?
That's how they say it.
Yeah. Your peeps back home. I don't know. All right. Is there a royal rift between Prince Harry and Meghan? Some reports say that the two are taking time apart. So Meghan was seen by herself at a farmer's market. It's over.
I mean, who
It's
would go
over.
out alone?
And Prince Harry will reportedly go solo during his upcoming trip to Africa for his Netflix documentary. Are these just rumors, or has the pressure with these two, no matter what continent you're on, they are just scrutinized to the max? So would that affect anyone's relationship?
Oh, let's be honest, they're not exactly like, la, 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 life is always rosy. I mean, they're raising two kids that are all both under the age of like 5 or something, which, I mean, Jeff, you know how hard it is with 2 young kids running around. Very difficult.
Yes.
Then the families don't get on. Then there's the paparazzi. Then there's the royal family and everyone in England like hating them. Oh, people all over. Losing multi-million-dollar deals with Spotify, with Netflix. I mean, it's a recipe for a hellish time. They're not exactly going to be like, "Oh, life is rosy," are they?
So maybe a little break makes the heart grow
I don't think
fonder.
they're going to be breaking up.
No, I'm saying like Harry going to Africa and her just chilling out at farmers markets.
Tori actually made a really good point about that this morning.
I did.
I'm not going to steal
Really?
it from you, but you are completely accurate. Go ahead.
Well, I had watched all the documentary.
For the
and
record, I
stuff.
would have stolen it.
You would have stolen it, thank you. But Botswana is where Harry very famously went after Diana died, after really hard times to rebuild himself. He's gone for months and months at a time, and he really it has a special place in his heart. They also went together to Africa, and they have that together as well. But for him
Great point.
No, for him to go back solo, alone, seems to me he wants to find himself away from her in a safe space, away from all of the noise, and that's what Botswana represents to Harry. That was my great point. You can say your great job if you want.
I mean, would you go off on vacation?
That was a great point.
No,
Yeah.
but would you go off on vacation and leave Jordan and the 2 boys at home and be like, "See ya, I'm off to somewhere by myself and you're not coming"?
If things were rocky, right, and like I was trying to say, like
Exactly.
the heart grows fonder. Let me just do this on my own. Let me get away from you and the kids. I'm gonna make a little cash for the fam. You know what I mean? A little stash.
Yeah, but how's he making money? He's roaming around the African safari.
I think he's working on his the Netflix doc there.
Oh, so then
Yeah,
that
and their other
changes it.
Netflix doc is like getting canceled. They need to put out some, or allegedly, they need to put out some good material and some content,
Yeah.
right? Somebody's got to work.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like, hey, listen, you get a head start, go do your thing, take a break, do your work. I'll meet you with the kids in like 2 weeks, and then it's all
See,
squashed.
if he's solely going to do the Netflix thing, I think then that's a very different story.
Agreed.
And we are stirring the pot.
Agreed.
I think
Al, where you at,
the
buddy?
pot is there to be stirred. I mean, Jeff,
Great.
I was going to ask you, but you have dealt with the paparazzi and tabloids.
Not really.
Have there ever been rumors of you and Jordan splitting?
Yeah.
So before I was about to ask that sarcastic, I was like, maybe there really has been.
No, there is. Like, if you don't post something, people are all over you. Like, how come you don't post a picture with your family? I'm like, because I hate you. I love my family. I hate you.
I asked the question because there is when there's a gap somewhere, that space will be filled. And if you're together and you're presenting a strong, united front, even if it's not true, I think that quells a lot of this. I think that there might be multiple instances where we're seeing them apart. And it's not implausible that two human beings that have been through trauma on seven different levels could and would break up. So I don't know if this is necessarily just tabloid fodder. I think there could be something there, especially because the Netflix deal and the podcast deal fell apart. That creates tension because
you think you're smelling something.
Yeah, well, now your wife is your business partner, and you're like, what's up with our business?
There's a lot of things that have been going on that are brutal. I mean, imagine any family, you losing your income and job, raising young children, and never mind like any family fallout is difficult, but imagine that tenfold. Every single person knows who you are, knows what your business is.
I'd run away too.
But there's also the huge thing that no one talks about, and it's the fact that Harry left his family for what they did to her, he perceived they did to her, however you want to look at that. And so, yes, that's a beautiful Romeo and Juliet story, but now you got to live the rest of Romeo's life. And there's a lot of pressure. Anytime me and you get in a fight, I'm like, I left my family for you.
Well, look what happened to Romeo and Juliet.
Yes. Not a great ending.
So
no, not great.
It puts a lot of pressure on two people.
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. All right, so speaking of royalty, hip-hop royalty, there might be a break in hip-hop's most notorious cold case. It's been nearly 30 years since Tupac Shakur was gunned down and murdered in Las Vegas. I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
But now police say they are searching a home in the Las Vegas area that belongs to a relative of the suspected shooter. We don't know what they found yet, but the suspected shooter, and this is alleged, I've watched a lot of documentaries about Tupac and Biggie, I'm always into that, but his name's Orlando Anderson, and he was a gang member in Los Angeles, and he's the suspected shooter, right? He was shot, I believe, he was killed in 1998, so he's already passed, but this is a relative of the man they think killed Tupac
Orlando
Shakur.
Anderson.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Why do you think it came back now? Is there a timing here? You seem to know. Does anyone know why it all? I mean, it's hard for a cold case to get resurfaced from that long ago.
30 years later.
Yeah, that's I'm a true crime person, and that means either a tip was given out or some kind of new evidence was found.
Right, but it doesn't matter. Like, if they put out a new documentary about Biggie, I watched that.
Right.
Tupac, I watched that. You know what I mean? It's like the public is still interested in what happened, and there's still, I mean, he suspected Orlando Anderson, but Biggie Smalls and Tupac, there is nobody in custody or taking the blame for two of hip-hop's top kings.
And at the time, I mean, that would be like, at the time, like the gravity of like the leader of the Justin Timberlake and whoever was with
Nick Lachey or
Nick
something.
Lachey both being killed.
Right?
And Tupac and Biggie of boy bands.
They really were. I mean, in terms of like that famous, like I can shut down a mall kind of famous. Like if those two men being killed at the height of their fame, and then those cases just went cold, and the cops are like, I don't know, that's really weird. Like that would never have gone down. The fact that those two people were still having documentaries made shows you how famous they were. As quickly as we forget things in this culture, they're still as famous as almost they ever were, if not more popular. The fact that the cops are like, we got nothing. I mean, it's not.
I do have to give a shout out to their mothers, because those two mothers have come together to try and find justice together after that feud. So I just wanted to give a shout out on that, because they probably brought this case from nothing back into the world. So that's good.
Yeah, I think, not to be lame, but I think the streets handled a lot of that, and the detectives were kind of left out of a lot of that. Because I watched a documentary about the people investigating the Tupac, and he was in on everything that was going on with the gangs and stuff, and he believed that this was the man who killed Tupac too, but later was killed himself.
Wow.
Do I know too much about that stuff?
It's good. You're knowledgeable. And
I'd rather talk hip-hop than politics. You know what I mean?
I think, yes.
What if you talk politics in a hip-hop song?
No. I'm
coming down the White House, reaching for my gavel.
Coming down the White House?
Okay.
Let me tell you, Tori, that was horrendous. But let me just point out why politics shouldn't be involved in everything, because this is our next story.
Okay.
The reviews are in on the Barbie movie. Ooh. How am I going to get to politics? I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Representative Matt Gaetz and his wife attended the premiere and were all smiles, but now his wife is asking her followers to boycott the film.
After
just like she did.
This sounds ridiculous. Is that her? That's her in the Barbie box. And she said boycott it.
That is she.
She says the movie neglects to address any notion of faith or family and tries to normalize the idea that men and women can't collaborate positively. You're in the box. But she seems to stand alone. I know.
Through the plastic.
It's so hypocritical. So the majority of the reviews are calling the movie empowering and a fierce feminine statement. This is ridiculous.
Let me just give you a context. 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is almost unheard of for a movie. It is Noah Baumbach. It is Greta Gerwig. You have top stars in it. Apparently the writing is well thought out. So for her to go and then claim don't go is the epitome of politics. It's hypocritical. It's embarrassing. She's wearing bright pink and telling you don't go.
She stood there smiling on the pink
That's
carpet,
right, that's
posting
right.
all these pictures.
That's
She needs to pipe down. Pipe.
I mean, Steph,
Pipe.
the chutzpah that it takes to do
Say it
something.
again.
I don't think I've ever said that
Chutzpah,
word.
say it.
Chutzpah.
That's it, baby.
As it was coming out,
Give it out like you mean it.
Say it.
As it was coming out of my mouth, I'm like, I don't think I've ever said this word before. And I was like, is this a bad word? I don't know what this means.
You were like the chutzpah.
Yes, Steph, how did she gather herself to do this?
The cheek
Yeah,
of
that's
it,
it.
really. I mean, she's maximizing. She's using the little power and fame that she has to have a little moment in the spotlight and try and steal it away from the pink Mattel happiness that Margot Robbie has brought into all of our lives, or will do soon when it launches very shortly. I mean, who is she? Go away.
That's exactly right. She also claimed that Ken had low testosterone in the movie, and she was angry about that. I would look at your husband, honey. Am I right, Matt
yesterday
Gaetz?
on this, we
Sorry, not
Wow.
He's awful. Who invited Matt Gaetz to the Barbie movie?
Why were they there?
Why were you there?
Why were they?
I don't know.
You called out Matt Gaetz for low testosterone.
I'm calling out Matt Gaetz for about everything. Just
Well, who
about
is
everything.
Can we get a picture of Matt
Rude,
Gaetz out
though.
there?
He's in the pink jacket on the right. He is a very right-wing, almost extremist.
Oh, now I feel your
You see
anger.
him? He
I
is
didn't know he was extremely
congressman.
right-wing.
He's Extremely right-wing.
Yes.
I was gonna
Like
say
Marjorie
Tory, that was
Taylor
fine.
Greene.
Oh, all right.
And he's also in trouble with other lawsuits of alleged sexual problems. So let me just say, I don't think you should be talking about testosterone, Mrs.
And also,
Gaetz.
you
And you know
just
what?
not
We're already
talk
way
about
too
it.
much into politics. I'm shutting this down. Coming up on DBL, the actors' strike continues as Mandy Moore reveals she was paid 81-cent checks in streaming residuals. Do these high-profile celebrities add credibility to the cause? We're going to talk about the strike next. And Kylie Jenner and Jordan Woods, are they friends again after the whole Tristan Thompson drama? Tori's going to break it down in her segment, Actually.
It's a hip-hop version.
Yes.
Just kidding.
DBL, this show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point. But I'm going to have a conversation about what's happening now.
So apparently we didn't know. She gave a pros and cons list, Mrs. Gaetz, on the movie. She went and gave a review of it.
She
so
liked
cool.
the soundtrack and the costumes.
And the costumes, and she liked Margot
If
Robbie's
she came, if
performance.
I had a
Margot
restaurant,
Robbie.
if I had a restaurant, she came in and be like, get out.
That's right.
Because she's gonna write a review and it's gonna
That's
be bad.
right. You know what? He would be the Gates keeper. For the Gates. Their last name is Gates.
I know.
I think that deserved a little more.
No.
Okay. Anywho, I'm really excited
Anyways,
to
I'm
see
gonna
it.
go get more water.
Anyway, apparently it's sold out everywhere for the next 3 weeks. No, I'm just kidding. Jeff and I have a fight going on. Oppenheimer, if you didn't know, is coming out the exact same weekend as Barbie.
You know what? I feel so bad. I was meant to go to the movie premiere literally last night.
And?
And literally, Ro was not feeling super well.
Rose, your husband.
Fiance.
Well,
Fiancé.
I've started saying husband now because I'm trying to get it into my head that it's like.
It's a weird feeling.
Because I think the word fiance sounds quite pretentious, doesn't it?
I like
It's a
it.
bit of a weird word.
It's my fiance.
Fiance.
I like it like it sounds
Then
like
you can't say
Beyonce.
boyfriend, but then you can't be like my husband. I'm
It's
just
just-
starting to.
I think
Anyway,
it
he wasn't
sounds-
feeling a bit not well, so we didn't go, and I was so bummed out because I
Do you
felt really
wanna
bad
know-
like leaving him. And
Cillian,
being like,
you
bye.
it's good that you didn't leave him. You're being a good fiance, but Cillian Murphy lost all this weight to play, I believe,
love
Oppenheimer.
Cillian
Me
Murphy.
too. And guess what he said? I ate 1 almond a day, a slice of apple, and that was it. They never. He'd also very unhealthy. He didn't join them for dinner ever. And Matt Damon said he had couples counseling with his wife, and he said,
don't know
"I
why
will
I'm
quit
so
acting
into that.
unless
Like
Mr. Christopher
just put
Nolan
another
calls for
documentary
anything."
out.
And
I'll
like
watch
the
it in a
next
second.
week, Chris Nolan goes, "Hey, we're doing
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. Can you come in and do it?" He's like, "Well, I got the go ahead and couple." So he's in it, and they all said Robert Downey Jr.'s in it, Emily Blunt is in it. I can't
3
wait for it.
hours long epicness.
Welcome back. Kylie Jenner is stirring that Kardashian Jenner pot again, but we need your opinions on the latest drama. Okay, so Kylie Jenner was seen out at dinner over the weekend. Okay, Tori, not a big deal, right? Oh no, it was. Because it wasn't where she was, it was who she was with. It was none other than her ex-best friend, Jordan Woods. You know Jordan, Kylie's oldest friend who allegedly flirted, got kind of cozy at a party with Khloe Kardashian's boyfriend and soon-to-be father of her first child, Tristan Thompson.
Shame.
And was therefore shunned by the Kardashian-Jenner fam for the past 4 years. Do you remember that one? Yeah, that one. Well, back in 2019, Jordan even went on Red Table Talk to share her side of the story and apologize to Khloe. But the family, they never made amends with the social media star publicly.
And the last thing I wanted to do was be that person. I'm no homewrecker.
So, actually, the first opinion we need from you is this mending of a friendship a good idea or a bad idea? Can she trust to go back into those Jordan Woods? But actually, the real question I'm interested in is how the heck did this most magical viral moment of those two get caught on camera? Was it coincidence? Was it a random passerby? Or was it the work of momager Kris Jenner? So what do you think? If you like the friendship and you think this was just another classic Jenner PR setup, let us know by tweeting us with hashtag #actuallyTory. Because you know what they say. The devil works hard, but Kris Jenner, she works harder. That's all for this week. We'll be right back.
More than a half dozen Americans are recovering after contracting malaria from mosquitoes in Florida and Texas. Malaria is rare in the U.S., and the CDC says they're the first cases in 2 decades. Some Twitter users, including this post with more than 6 million views, claim the cases are linked to a Bill Gates-funded mosquito project. So, let's verify. Our sources are the CDC, UK biotech company Oxitec, health officials in Florida and Texas, the Florida Keys Mosquito Control District, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Oxitec does a lot of research on mosquitoes, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation provides funding for 2 of its overseas research projects on malaria, which is exclusively spread by the Anopheles mosquito. One of Oxitec's projects not funded by the Gates Foundation involves genetically modifying a different type of mosquito, the Aedes aegypti, so it can't reproduce. Aedes aegypti can spread dengue fever, Zika, and yellow fever, but not malaria. Oxitec is currently testing whether its genetic modifications can help control the mosquito population in Florida and reduce disease. All of our sources say it's impossible for the Aedes aegypti to spread malaria. So, no, the Gates Foundation is not funding a malaria mosquito project in Florida. The research that is being done in the state uses a breed of mosquitoes that can't spread malaria and isn't being paid for by the foundation. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. Some high-profile celebrities. You're not on camera, Tori. You're good.
Okay.
Are lending their support to the ongoing actors' strike. Bette Midler was seen walking the picket line outside the Netflix office in New York, and Kevin Bacon and his wife Kira Sedgwick joined striking actors in New York as well. And Christian Slater picked up a picket sign outside the Paramount building in Times Square. But a lot of people are talking about Mandy Moore, who told The Hollywood Reporter she received an 81-cent check after her hit show This Is Us started streaming on Hulu. So some people criticized Mandy for speaking out because she's coming from a place of privilege. Mandy then responded saying she was only trying to raise the issue of residuals because she relied on them during her years when she wasn't working as much. And speaking of privilege, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was reportedly receiving $50 million for his upcoming Christmas movie. It's called Red One, the highest upfront payday in Hollywood history. Not good timing for The Rock here while everyone's on strike complaining about money. But I think Mandy has a point here talking about residuals and streaming particularly because that's where everything's going, right, Steph? And we don't know the numbers. So actors, agents, they can't negotiate that. And a lot of people rely on those residuals as well as AI. So they're trying to fix those things on the actors.
I honestly feel like I'm all for the writers' strike. I think they need to be paid a fair living wage, and it's completely unacceptable that obviously some people at the top of the food chain, of course they'll get paid more, but they also create the jobs, right? But I do think the writers need to be paid appropriately because it's simply nowhere near the standard that it should be. I do have a problem with people coming after people like Mandy Moore, though, because, or Bette Midler, they at the end of the day, the writers are writing for shows that these stars are going to be the face of, and they need those stars to bring in the numbers, to bring in the people, the viewers that are going to tune in and watch so that they can write for something. So I think they're just giving their celebrity their voice to campaign and help the cause. They're not, I don't like that.
I'll tell you what I don't like, Steph. I don't like the idea that apparently there's a certain amount of money where you lose your privilege to speak. Because if you were poor.
Ooh, that's a good point.
If you were poor, and I said, Jeff, I don't have to listen to you. You don't make $25,000 a year. Get out of my face. That'd be the end of me, as it should be. But if you make $250 million a year, you can't have that opinion. You somehow lost that. Where in that? Where do you lose that?
But doesn't it go both ways, even for the CEOs too?
Well, this is the difference between the CEOs and the talent. And Steph, you kind of brought this up. When you have somebody like The Rock, when you have somebody like LeBron James or Taylor Swift, you can quantify with numbers how many, when you put The Rock on a marquee, you can kind of guesstimate how much money is going, that there's the pie of money. And then you can divide that as you may. But The Rock has the leverage in that financial negotiation because without The Rock, you just have a Christmas movie that's going straight to DVD. So The Rock is the reason that all those people, including Bob Iger, are eating because without The Rock and without the big names, what do you have? A YouTube show.
But that's all of this big talk about the actors getting paid. All of this is distraction. It comes down to this. The model of TV has changed. It used to be you get paid and that's fine. But once it goes to streaming, you don't get paid. That's called injustice. So if the model changes, the payment has to change. They just have to do it.
No, I'm with you. I'm with
the
you.
show more.
Exactly. Get more girls.
I get. Does everyone get what Al's saying about the model and things like? Everyone gets that, right? When you equate that to women's sports and men's sports and getting paid equal wages, how come that model that you said that everyone just understood, they don't understand when it comes to women's sports?
Because a lot of people feel as if they aren't given enough advertising to produce people to be invested in them because they don't get the same media coverage.
So if they got the same media coverage, they would bring in the same numbers?
There would be much more of a same equivalency. If they gave them the exact same media coverage, we would know who some of those women
I don't know
are.
about the same because women's sports haven't been around.
But that's a catch-22 because which one is...
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying like there is some economic disparity to try and boost them up because there wasn't a women's basketball league except for maybe 30 years ago.
Right, which was sexist in the first place.
I just wanted to stir that up. We got to go. We'll be right back.
I love stirring.
A viral TikTok with more than 33 million views shows a person using a cup of gasoline to eliminate a wasp's nest. But is this really a safe way to kill these pesky pests? Let's verify. Our sources are the Texas A&M School of Integrated Pest Management and Jonathan Larson, an entomologist with the University of Kentucky. Gasoline is dangerous because it's highly flammable and emits harmful fumes. It's one reason why gas stations are outdoors. Larson tells Verify what you're seeing in the video are gas fumes suffocating and paralyzing the wasps, but adds there's a lot that could go wrong.
They're seconds away from everything going wrong, I would say, and ending up doused in gasoline and covered in wasp stings.
Plus, even if you are successful, you then need to properly dispose of the gas at a hazardous waste facility. Texas A&M says if the gas ends up on the ground, it could create a fire hazard and contaminate the soil. So, no, holding a cup of gasoline up to a wasp's nest is not a safe way to kill wasps. Instead, use an aerosol wasp spray, which instantly freezes and kills wasps from a safe distance. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Aspartame is an artificial sweetener and is most commonly used as a sugar substitute in foods and beverages like diet drinks. But is it safe for you to consume? Open any article and you may find conflicting information. We took these concerns straight to the experts. Our source is Dr. Danielle Wyckoff, Director of Tock Strategies, Health Science Practice, and Dale Shepard, MD, an oncologist with the Cleveland Clinic. Wyckoff noted aspartame is used in many food products a lot of people might not even know contain it.
It can also be in chewing gums, yogurts, and other food types.
Wyckoff says it's a relatively simple compound that our body is able to metabolize quickly. And despite it being in a bunch of things, Wyckoff says the study shows aspartame is okay to ingest in moderation.
This means that globally, regulatory agencies charged with evaluating food safety continue to consistently conclude that aspartame is a safe food ingredient.
Dr. Shepard says the agency has 4 categories it uses to rank items for safety. Aspartame now falls into the possible carcinogenic to humans category, which means it ranks below known carcinogens like alcohol and tobacco. The agency says this falls under this particular classification because more research is needed to prove its harm. So our experts say consuming aspartame is generally safe, but too much of anything isn't good.
I think the bottom line is that we don't have good evidence that you should go to your refrigerator and clear it of all the diet sodas. Drink diet sodas in moderation.
Dr. Shepard says it's safe to consume 40 milligrams of aspartame per kilogram of body weight a day. So this means an adult who weighs 154 pounds would need to drink more than 9 to 14 cans of Diet Coke with aspartame a day to go over the acceptable daily intake. With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back. After record temps recently, staying cool outdoors is something you should keep in mind. Here are some easy ways to stay cool with Sunsetter. First, stay hydrated all day and try to take a water break every 20 minutes. Next, cook outside earlier in the day instead of later in the afternoon when it's hot. And it doesn't hurt to keep a lot of ice on hand. Sunsetter is America's #1 best-selling awning with affordable custom features without the custom price. Spend more time outside and get the best value with Sunsetter. It's been an industry leader for 30 years. Call 800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed pricing on American-made awnings built to last. You want to be the hero this summer? You bring a bag of ice to the next party you show up at.
Yes.
That's what you do. You don't come empty-handed. Bring a bag of ice.
Can you then call them Iceman, like Maverick, the whole night?
Okay, we got to go.
Iceman.